Let me show you some of the other things I've got growing here. So here's an example of an old red container that's someone's kitchen bin, I think. It goes inside. I just put holes in the bottom, filled it up, and now it's got a papaya in it. Papaya I go from seeds, so you buy a fruit and it's got hundreds of seeds in it. Just spread them around, they grow real easy. It's got Hong Fong Sai, a few other things. I like to interplant, so there's a little bit of garlic growing in there as well. Try and mix them all up so that they keep away the bugs. There you can see spring onion that's been, cut off. We eat the spring onion, and then the root part with a little couple of centimeters left, put back in the ground, and it shoots up again, and you can just harvest it again at least a second time, so you get double the amount from it. And again, it keeps away the pests, because the pests don't like the smelliness of onion and garlic and chives, spring onion, all those smelly things bugs don't really like, so it keeps them away. Okay, I've got some 5-gallon white buckets there. They're great for growing. Plants can get quite deep roots in it. Got even fennel growing in there. Hopefully will either produce a root, otherwise I'll wait for it to seed and use the seeds. It's good for tomatoes. If it's a bit deeper, you can put in a stake. These stakes aren't really high enough, but the tomato kind of goes up and then horizontal. It's got an avocado growing there. I just put the pip of an avocado in there. Okay, so I like the look of it. It's never gonna fruit here. I'll go and plant it out somewhere sometime, and then it might fruit one day. Yeah, I've got more pot plants, small pots. If I were going to do this again, I would really just stick to larger pots and non-plastic ones where possible. But like I say, I've been just trying to reuse containers. I haven't really bought many containers, reused them. And when you put lots together, improve the soil with worm juice and with coffee grounds and with any other mulching kind of materials you can get, like rusk husks. Just improves the soil, and then you can start growing all sorts of different things. Here's a green pepper plant, flowering. Again, an old citrus plant that somebody threw out, and I just trimmed it. And it's growing. It probably won't really fruit. Hopefully it will just flower and you get some nice smelling flowers. There's one big container that I did buy, but I made the mistake of buying potting mix for it, and potting mix is a cheap, very light material, and unfortunately it really compresses, so that was filled up, compressed down to half. I've added more soil to it, and because it compresses, it actually is not great for growing stuff in it, and it hasn't been that productive. Again, I need to rip out these babies of this plant here, have gone into there, and I need to rip those out and plant some more food in it. Got lemongrass there that's doing really well, and we've had so much tea from lemongrass, added together with mint, lemon mint. This one down here is kind of a lemony mint, a normal mint that I've showed you in the aquaponics, and we put it together with this plant here. I don't know the name of it yet, but it smells very herbal. We also put in lemon verbena, just this one over here. So you add a few leaves of that. Basil is another favourite that grows pretty well in pots and containers, and if you keep picking it, you can harvest it over and over again. It's not looking the greatest now because it doesn't get much sun now in December, although today is a nice sunny day, and yesterday was a sunny day. We hadn't had sun for 3 weeks before that, so it needs a bit more sun. Strawberry plant's growing really well here, and it's got a white flower on there right now. So again here, I've tried to use vertical space. This side gets afternoon sun, so in the afternoon this is all sunny here, and again the vertical space, just put pots on the outsides, and then they seem to grow quite well. Try to have a little seeping tray at the top. Not that I really like polystyrene as a container, but like I'm saying, I don't really want to buy containers. The whole idea of trying to be lighter on the earth is to reuse materials wherever possible. And again, use the vertical space here, some slats from an old table, just put that between two other objects and make a little shelf and another container. It's got strawberries. It's got this herbal plant, not sure what it's called, but it grows really, really well. Hong Fong Sai again, tomato, papaya, again just in an old bucket, lifted up higher by putting it in that metal container, which is an old bin, so just to get a bit more height on it so that it gets more sun. It's got this kind of wall all the way around. I'm on the top floor, 8 floors up, so this little house is just built on the top of what would otherwise be a flat roof. So when I moved in here, there were just these kind of carnivorous trees and nothing else. That was it. Just these trees were here. Oh, and this one, this kind of palm. So that was all that was here, and trying to grow anything underneath this conifer is almost impossible. The roots have taken up all this space and you can't even dig into it, and I think they're actually got that chemical in them that stops other things from growing. But over a year I put all of our veggie waste and food waste and leaves and whatever I can and just mulch it, and slowly now there is some soil, and I'm gonna let the non-food plants grow underneath them so that I can get some colour, some flowers and stuff. There's another little example of reusing something. This was, for a while, for over a year maybe, that was where we put our knives and forks after washing them, you know, draining them. But it got a bit mouldy after a while, so I just put it in the garden, filled with some soil. Now there's a couple of radishes growing in it. Again, like I said, papaya is really easy to grow. Haven't had any fruit yet, but it does flower, so there's a chance. Like this one's got flowers, and the one around the corner's got flowers on it. So I am waiting patiently to get some papaya off it at some point, which would be really good. This vegetable was introduced to me by an owner of an organic shop. You can pick off the leaves and pick off the leaves, and it just grows like crazy. It's wild out in the forest and stuff, and we just pick it off and we add it to whatever we're cooking, stir fries, stews. We don't eat it raw, but you know, it's a green and it's great to be able to just pick. Around the corner here, so you can see how this is a strange design place. This is where normally someone would put an outdoor washing machine, and instead we don't have a washing machine. So at the moment I've just used this space. Again, this gets afternoon sun, so I use whatever containers I can to grow some things. I tried this in an old drawer, not very deep, and it just rests on some bits of bamboo that I salvaged, filled with soil, planted some seeds, put this cover over it. This looks like it comes from a I don't know, from drying the dishes. You put that over drying your dishes maybe? I don't know. I found it in the, you know, where they throw away all the stuff, and put that over the top of this when you put seeds in it. Okay, keeps it warm, moist, and the seeds germinate really quite easily. It's kind of like a little mini greenhouse. And I've got some legumes there growing, some beans, and there's okra growing too. This is okra over here. Okra, there's mint, Hong Fong Sai, the sweet potato one. So it's productive. That one there again is another vegetable that you can kind of keep growing as perennial. Gets these seeds eventually. So it will self-seed, or you can take the berries and take the seeds out and dry them and then use them when you want to use them. This is going to be my next little project, and so clothes basket made of some cane. I'm going to fill that with soil and put a papaya in that. so it's deep, it's got some height, and again, let that get the afternoon sun. But yeah, otherwise that's my little balcony garden. How much food does it produce? Well, before winter came, for about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I was collecting like a full handful of leaves, which was a mixture of all the ones I've shown you today. And you just get a big mixture, and then I just chop them up and lightly fry them with some tofu or mushrooms, onion, garlic, and you add that to your mixed grains rice or your spaghetti. And I've had a handful of that probably 4 times a week for at least the last 2 months. So yeah, I haven't weighed it. I don't know the kg productivity per year, but it's probably about 20% of our food needs. We don't really buy lettuce. There's a nasturtium that's finally grown. I've been trying to grow nasturtium for quite a long time. There's one there that's actually germinated and it's growing. But there's a loquat seedling. I also grow from seeds. So another little fish tank up here. It's got some fish in it. It's got this little weed in it that aerates the water, so you don't need a pump. This one. So that adds oxygen just from the sunlight. Adds oxygen to the water, and the fish have been there for over a year. So one other thing is about water harvesting. When I started learning about permaculture, I saw the importance really of water as a resource, and even on a small balcony like this, I've decided I would try and do something about that. So this is a big white container, has a pipe in it. That pipe connects to another container, which is not very big, 20 gallons maybe, and that connects to the down pipe from the roof. So this little connector at the bottom there is from an old toilet. Again, I found it from the thrown out. People often throw out toilets when they're renovating. So this part is the inside of the toilet. So that I glued into the bottom of the drain pipe. So when the drain pipe fills up with a bit of rain, that water goes into this container, which goes into this container. And as I use this container here, because they are equal, the water will drain from that other container to here until it gets close to the bottom, and as long as I don't break that siphon, it will siphon the water. And what I do then is, after we've had some good rain and I do need to water, I use my old kettle, my watering can. Don't have to buy a watering can, and then I just water the plants that need watering. And yes, once all this water is used up, if it hasn't rained for a while, then I have to use the council water, the tap water. But this is 100% pure rainwater, and much better for the plants, and not using up town water, so it doesn't have to be pumped and processed and all that kind of stuff, so it's using less fossil fuels. And this is just one container, and again, this container wasn't getting used for anything else. The landlord gave it to me and said, oh, you can use it, so I'm using it, and when I'm done with it I will wash it out and give it back to him and can use it for something else again. Still got the lid. So yeah, rainwater harvesting is very important. I like to have herb tea at least once a week, and I pick a variety of herbs such as in this photo.